Welcome everybody, Red Arrow 23 here. Today we're going to be introducing the Land Like a Boss series. Let's boom this beach. So, Land Like a Boss series, what we're going to be doing here is explaining exactly that. We're going to land in a really efficient and precise way, and I'm going to show you a few different techniques. It's going to be it's a series of videos that I'm going to put in a playlist, so you should be able to watch all these either individually if you're looking for a particular attack, or you can watch them all the way through. I kind of felt like I needed to have a bit of an introduction to talk about how we're going to be doing this and what we're going to do, what it's all based on. If you are a bit confused why there's a red dot in the top middle of the screen, that's just the drawing tool that I'm going to be using, so that we can sort of point a few things out, and that's just going to stay up there. So the main objective of this video is just to sort of point out a few things. For example, if we have a look at this tag here and we just look at the base, purely the base, you'll see that this base looks exactly the same layout as a couple off the top of the head. TechCrunch, Machina, Fang, Titan, all of them have the exact same cutout. So if you look at all the way around the edges, this is all exactly the same. They're not cut any differently. The beach is exactly the same. So any flares and stuff that you do across this map, the Zookas should act more or less the same. It obviously depends on what they've got to walk around. But as far as launching on the beach, they're going to launch at the same height every time. And these are the sorts of things that if you know, and you know where those wall flares are and stuff, then you can go wherever you want to go on the map. So that's I call that the left hand map. The right hand map is when the right hand side of the beach is down, and it's exactly the same thing. This layout, you'll see Boomtown, you'll see Titanic, obviously Atlas because that's where we are. We see Blue Water, whatever sort of op that you're used to. High Five. There's a whole these are the two types of bases. There's only two. And again, everything is consistent with the flares and the height that they're going to be launching on the beach. We'll get into some mid-flare demos. So first of all, we've got on Residue, you'll see that this is the left-hand side down map, or I call it a left side map. Here we go. So we're going to do a flare. It's as low as we can get on the beach, and you'll see that as the Zookas sort of land, that's not quite right. That they land perfectly on that height along the beach, and that's going to be exactly the same every time. Every time they're going to be launching at that height. So you can see how high up in the water they're going to be launching. I suggest that you watch replays from the operation that you've currently got, and you'll be able to see, even if they're not doing a flare landing, you'll be able to see how high the Zookas are walking off the boat, and then you can smoke accordingly. The main reason that we want to know how high they were launching off the beach is because if there's a rocket launcher in range, like right on the beach, then we want our widest part of the smoke to be perfectly on that line. Perfectly on that line, right just above that line. And then we've got the best chance of keeping our Zookas covered the entire time. So you can see they're sort of just below the waterline, maybe a cell below the waterline. So let's have a look. There was Residue. Let's have a look at Atlas. And we did the same thing. We're just trying to demo the how high up on the beach that they're going to be landing. Again, we're doing a flare as low on the beach as possible. And you see the Zookas actually walk above this time. They're walking above the water. If that's the water there, they're all walking above that line initially, and because the flare is actually lower on the beach than the flags, you'll see when you flare back across, they actually do go lower. This is really key on minnow, for example. You can flare to the right and then flare to the left, and they'll be lower. And then that way, there's some mortars sort of around about here, and their range goes right down sort of about there. So if you launch, mortars are gonna rain fire down on you. But if you do this right-left path, your Zuka is going to be low enough so that when you flare up, the mortars, you can duck under the mortars as the mortars fire over the top of you. So that's just a bit of a quick intro into what we're going to be talking about in this series. Be sure to check out the other videos, and hopefully we can break down and make these attacks a little bit easier. You should be able to search, like if you want a 2-smoke land flare on the right hand side of a right hand map, that should be easy to search. And so we'll have 6 videos, and that'll be it. So give us a thumbs up if you like the video, thumbs down if you didn't, and subscribe for more Boom Beach. Let's get into it.